Thank you, Tony. The Victorian Speaker and Deputy Speaker resigned this week, and the near-constant MP expense scandals are a key source of the electorate's apathy towards our current political system. Aside from never-ending reviews and shameless statements about acting within the rules, what changes can the panel suggest to reinstate our trust that our elected officials do not take us for fools?
I'll start with the politicians again, and I'll start with Claire O'Neill.
Yeah, it's a really, really important question and something that I'm thinking about a lot as a politician, because I think that the trust that the Australian public has in our parliamentarians is it's critical to the functioning of our democracy. So I'm not going to be able to do my job if this continues for much longer. And just about every metric that we could possibly measure tells us that right now in this country, Australians have less faith that politicians are acting in their interests than they ever have before. So this is a major problem. And it is one that's already affecting how our democracy functions. So in the last federal election, 400,000 young people in this country failed to vote because they never bothered to get themselves on the electoral roll. Now, that's 4 full federal electorates of young people who didn't see that politics has anything to offer them or that they have any stake in what we're doing. So I think your point about expenses it's emblematic. People look at Bronwyn Bishop's helicopter flight and think that's what's going on all over the shop. That's not true. We need to sort out the entitlements issue. We need to sort out the public expenditure of money. We need to sort out how politicians fundraise. But I think there are also some bigger issues that we need to think about, and that is about how we engage the public in our parliamentary system. So one of the things that is interesting is that Australia used to be a great innovator as a democracy. We brought in lots of new initiatives, first in the world to do a whole bunch of things. But that's really stopped now, and I think there's a lot of changes we need to make to our parliament and the way it operates to try to bring people into the decision-making process more.
Just very briefly, what do you think was going on with your Victorian colleagues? The Speaker and the Deputy Speaker both pinged for basically rorting the system. I think it'd be fair to say that, although they say they were acting within the rules. Is part of the problem here the very word entitlement, which suggests to some people this is a perk of office, I'm entitled to it?
I mean, I can't get into their heads and tell you exactly what was going on. I mean, maybe that is an issue. Maybe it's a cultural problem that politicians have got these. You know, when you've been around for a long time, maybe you just absorb this feeling that you're entitled to do all these things. I don't really know what's at the heart, but there's one very obvious point here that you've made, and that is that this system needs to change, because we just can't continue like this. It's corrupting our democracy, and it's making it very hard for Scott and I to do our jobs, because the ordinary people in the country don't think that we're acting in their best interests.